Food Service Power Plant Network. It's that night. Wednesday is a killer day for us, right? Wednesday during the day, you've got the NAFM webcast. Every Wednesday, if it's a Wednesday, it's a NAFM webcast. And if it's a Wednesday, you've got a Food Service Power Plant conversation. And frankly, we're going to crush it tonight. It's going to be amazing. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're joining us. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. You know, sometimes you just know. And tonight, I just know, frankly. We've got Kevin Coachman from KCL on joining us tonight. And I mean, you know, KCL, it's like that and auto quotes are two of the things that it's like, you know, white bread. Everyone has it in their pantry. You know, we all use it. We're all so familiar with KCL, but you're going to get more familiar with KCL and the story behind it. And Kevin and Eve, and it's going to be a really fun night. A couple reminders for you. Number one, if you've got questions or who's asking the questions, because we're coming through another streaming service. So if you go to StreamYard/Facebook and you type in your name, we'll be able to see you here. So you're welcome to ask questions. That will be a lot of fun. You can give thumbs up. You can give you guys are boring, whatever you want to give. But we'll have a whole lot of fun. Let me go find the man, the myth. Kevin!
Hey, everybody.
Awesome. What is up, my friend? How are you?
I'm excellent. So excited to be here, Jason. Thank you for doing this. I know you've been putting a lot of time in through COVID doing this on top of your day job, but I'm ready to have some fun tonight.
Brother, we are too. You are just, you know, KCL is so well known. You are so well known, and it's going to be fun for people to know a different side of you tonight. And I think we're going to have a blast. So let's start. Fill us in. So you've got, I can't tell what company you're with, just because it's not on your shirt or anything. I love it.
You can't see anything. I understand.
It's so great. Oh, we got people chiming in. Allison Cody, God bless her, is on. Allison! Okay, I'm trying to find us, by the way.
Allison. Hey, I'm impressed that she is here on time, Allison. Thank you.
Allison, great job. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find us. There we go. Okay, now I can see.
Nick, happy that we can help you out.
Oh, Nikki Dolan. Napkin sketch takes my business to the next level. Well played, Nick Dolan. Todd Strader's on. Sandy's on. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be really fun. Okay, so Kevin, tell us, what's the story behind KCL? You're today, you're the founder and president of KCL. Just give us some of the backstory.
So, as brief as I can be, and people who know me know I'm not always brief. So back in the 70s and 80s, my dad, Ron Coachman, who I'm going to say a lot of you know or have known of, was a food service consultant, independent, small operation, but really always looking for technology to help him. And I remember, I'm going to say in my younger days, because I am in my mid 50s, I know I look really good. If I was 70, look pretty good for mid 50s. I'll take that. He had this giant like typewriter word processor with punch tapes. So you'd type in, it would record it, and then you could feed it back in to edit for these big spec books. This is before the computers, personal computers. Wow. So I'd help him with that. And then Radio Shack, for those old folks, TRS-80s had word processing, and computers were kind of my thing from the Texas Instruments. You plug it into the TV day. So I was helping him with that. And we'll come to this later, but basically technology was good for my dad, helped him be more efficient. He got into AutoCAD when it first started, where it was diskettes, which again, for you youngins on, they were about 5 inches big. There were some 8-inch ones, but about 5 inches big. And we had those computers. I went away for a very brief stint at college, go ASU, but it was a very brief stint. And when I came back, my dad said, I think we can sell this to other people in the industry. And so that was in May of '85. We're actually still celebrating our 35th anniversary. Subtle message this way. There we go.
Well done.
Yeah, so it really, you know, my dad, a really smart guy. He knew food service really well, had a good, solid reputation for what he did. And then, you know, my technology background helped, kind of learned as we go. And I'm going to say this, I really like people. And that is a big part of what we do. And it's just kind of morphed over time from selling these big, expensive systems to our own software. And again, the perspective I'm going to give you, and I know I'm going along, so I'll cut it here, is I started at 18 with what I thought was a cool little rat tail hanging off the back of my head. And we'd go to these meetings, and I think there was definitely some, really, do we want to spend the money with this guy? But we've worked through it. People take me for what I am now, and that's okay. So I'm good with that.
Do you ever think about bringing back the rat tail?
Oh, all the time. But if I turn it the right angle, we may blind people with the lack of hair that I have on the back of my head. So we'll go with that.
That's awesome. Allison did set a timer. Allison, that is forward thinking. Well played, friend.
Allison is one of my favorites. Don't be embarrassed, Allison. And I know you'd say, sure, stop, give me more. But you are, and you've been really good to my family as well as our business. So thank you.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Todd, we're glad you are here, my friend. He's saying happy anniversary to the Coachman team. Josh Callahan, my Cal-Mill brother, is there.
Yeah.
And you're getting a little encouragement.
Right. I need a lot of help to get that to go. So thank you.
You got it. We'll find a way. Okay, so you and your dad start this. And, the love is coming. Allison, Kevin, you're one of my favorites too. Tell me who uses KCL? Who needs to be using KCL?
So we're in a fortunate position at this time, and I'm going to use that word a lot because I'm not a religious guy, but faithful. I mean, we try to do right by everyone, and it comes back. If you take the 5 families in the industry, we obviously work with the manufacturers to distribute their information. We work with dealers who do design work, consultants who do design work, so your FIDA, FCSI, reps who do design work. We've even in the last 10 years, we have a mobile app that service providers can use. It's completely free to look up spec sheets, manuals. It is literally free. Just go to your App Store, Google Play Store, look for KCL Mobile, sign up, and you can use it.
Wow.
And then I think it was Nick said in the beginning, we just introduced something called Napkin Sketch. That is our own built simple design platform. And anyone can use that. Well, so now manufacturer reps are saying, hey, we can do this instead of using a piece of paper. Do something a little more accurate. You can even do 3D if you want to go a little further. At the dealerships, the salespeople use it. At the manufacturer, sales rep can use it. So we've come up with something that really works well, unique, simple, and it doesn't cost anyone anything extra. I mean, that we're all about trying to provide, I will say, extreme value. That might be a new phrase. KCL brings you extreme value. So,
it shows. I mean, when we talked originally, I mean, you've got customers. One of your proudest things, I think, is that you don't lose a lot of customers, right? You bring people on, you show them value. You said you provide extreme value, and people stick with you. What do you attribute that to?
Well, first, I don't give up. So, Jason, we're not friends for life, whether you want to be or not. But
I'm in.
The personal service. I mean, there are people, again, I was talking with my mom, Judy Coachman, who has been a part of the business. And, she mentions a few people may know this man called Bill Rockamora, rest in peace. He was out in Asheville, North Carolina, part of Asheville Equipment. He and his brother Leon had that dealership out there for years. I think Bill came to us and he was already in his 60s saying, I want to learn AutoCAD. And, he required a lot of extra assistance, but that's what we do. And whether it's a, first timer who's maybe near the end of their career or brand new users, there's so many stories of, hey, you know what? They helped me out. It was the night. It was the weekend. Technology, we use it to our advantage. That I don't want to say I sit here on the computer all the time because I don't, but we have the ability to get that email and go, hey, if you're stuck, if I can take 5 minutes out of my day, if I'm available and I help you, then we're all good. I feel better because you're not stuck. You're working on the weekend. They feel good because they got support. It's not guaranteed. I do have a life, and on occasion, I don't respond to someone in 10 minutes. I mean, it happens. So that's really what it is. I mean, and I've got just great people around me that our developers have always been good. Current team we've been working with 10 years. My wife, Eve, who has been working for the company forever. now the sister working for the company, and we even have a son who is started doing some work. So a lot of family involved. Yeah, but it really is just, we care. I mean, I don't want you to be stuck.
It goes a long way, doesn't it?
Well, 35 years, so we're doing something right. Even if maybe I've given up a few things here and there, I think I've gained a lot more.
Oh, I love the way you look at it. Sandy saying extreme value, love it, and it's true. Clearly a user.
That was Deirdre, who, again, NAFM and Deirdre, great. She's the one who says love to Judy.
Oh.
And I got you covered. And
ID.
Listen, there are people that have known Ron and Judy for decades. They know me as well, but I love when I see someone and go, "Oh, when did you start working for the company?" Because I haven't seen my parents in a few years. We've gone through different phases of, I was very public for years, and then luckily my parents were able to, when we started our own software, do a lot of the meetings, and I could be at home with the kids.
Oh, cool.
And my wife, not just the kids, she does all the heavy lifting, but we've been fortunate that we've been to almost every sporting and school event they've had from K through 12. And that's not easy, but we make it work. And again, I'll say this little device is just, wherever it is, saved my hide from the very first one I got, because I could be there and not be disconnected from people. And that way they get what they need. But we volunteered, Eve and I volunteered at the schools, going to what we call the library. I'm volunteering at the elementary school, and it's so fun. You go in there every week, you shelve some books. Okay. That's always fun, but you're kind of at the hub. And when elementary school, those kids see you and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Coachman, hey," and they get all excited. And it's nice to be able to give back. So that's a big deal.
Heck yeah. Did your kids enjoy having you around school?
I think so. I think it might have gotten to the point a little bit later in high school. We joke about that. Our oldest son, we have 3 kids. Our oldest was involved in the choir program. Cool. And I've been recording kids' events at all the schools for years. And then I'd make DVDs and just give them to the other families, things like that. And I think I volunteered myself to the music teacher saying, "Hey, if you want, I'll record all of your stuff," because no one was recording it, even if my son's not in there. And at first it sounded good. And then I saw how many concerts they have at the high school. And it'd be like, "Why are you here? Jack's not in this." I'm like, "Well, I'm doing it because there's no one else doing it." And This way, everyone who was backstage gets to see it, and you make copies and then you post it on the internet for them. And again, it really is, we'll say this, I know it sounds silly, not religious, but service to others. It makes you feel better. People feel good. And I think it all comes back.
Every leader we've had on for one of these conversations has talked about the power of contribution, of giving back, of serving, of caring for others, adding value, and what that does in their own lives. This is our buddy Charlie with NAFM. Love the gently used Illinois license plate behind you, Kevin.
We live the brand. If you can't see it, it says KCL CAD. I mean, that's, it's us. KCL is us. KCL is me. I'm KCL. And I know there's a few people out there who, when I don't have a KCL shirt on, they get a little shocked. And that's okay. I like it. I have fun with it.
Own it, run it. And of course, I think this is probably D. Yep, D's sharing more love. Charlie sharing. Oh, this is so fun. Watching these, Eve rocks, frankly. It's becoming a theme. I can't wait to meet Eve someday.
As soon as we can get out and be somewhere, whether it's a MOFSI meeting, NAFM, other trade shows, yes, you will.
We'll do it. Okay, so while we're talking about Eve, you and your wife work together. You and your dad work together. Mm-hmm. When we talked, when I got into the industry, I worked for my dad. And I told you, my dad and I did great working together. We're not fighters. We are not nothing like that. But we came to a point where I was ready to be just his son again. Talk about being in business with 2 of the closest people in your world. Does that work pretty well for you guys? I'm assuming it does.
Well, I'd like to say that, I'm doing the math in my head real quick here. So we've been happily married, even I, about 27, 28 years. I can't do the math in my head. We make it work. Everything in our life does revolve around the business. And with my dad, I will say one thing that when I was growing up, you know, he volunteered and he was a coach of the team and he was handy around the house. And we had that father-son relationship, which was good. I think I didn't really get to appreciate it from what I'll say the normal relationship from age 18 on, because we were now business partners. It wasn't that I went into his business and, you know, tell me everything we need to know. Neither one of us was what I would call a businessman. You know, there's no MBAs. My dad was a lot closer to a college degree than I was. He likes to say he was, I think, 1 or 2 classes short. That's okay. I only had maybe 1 or 2 classes that I passed. So opposite ends, but we made it work. And it really helped that he had a strong reputation in the industry and understood it. My first CAD demo, someone said, draw a sink for me on the computer. I said, sure. Can you please draw it on a piece of paper? Because I don't know what it looks like. And they drew a rectangle with a couple squares. I'm like, oh, that's easy. Okay. But I really didn't understand that part. And we've gone from there. So I think having our differences work together. I have in my old records, or my mom might have in her old records, there were a couple times that I said, that's it, I'm done. And there was a letter of resignation. It never really happened, but you know, that's okay. We get along. I respect him immensely. And it's something that we started to build together, which is pretty cool. And not a lot of people get to say that.
Oh, I love it. Now, does work come to the dinner table when you and Eve are out on a date? You're having a nice glass of wine and a fun meal in Florida now. Does work go there, or do you guys ever set those boundaries ahead of time?
So hopefully no one from the IRS is listening, but if we go out to dinner and have a nice glass of wine and we talk work, it morphs into a business meal, right?
That's well played.
We can get away from it, but it really is a huge part of it. I know Eve's on and she can, whatever you want to say, Eve, it's the truth. There's no real hidden part of that. There are things we do that can truly get us away from work. As you know, we work together. Obviously we're married, we have kids. We also play tennis together. So that pre-COVID at meetings, people would talk to us and be like, so are you guys, how often are you together? Oh, well, we work out of the house. We work together. We play tennis together. We're always together. COVID hit and we had some separation because of other circumstances, not anything wrong. Just she was kind of with one child. I was with the other two and we were in different locations. But it's been interesting. I give her a lot of props for dealing with the fact that work is on my mind all the time. I mean, we talked, Jason, you had your own firm and it's hard to turn that off. Now you go play tennis and after a few minutes, you're into the match. You don't think about it. You do other things. If you go out, I think when it's just us talking, it's our life. I mean, this business is our life. So it comes into a lot of things, but it's okay by me.
Does she ever let you win in tennis?
I am normally pretty humble about most things. I'm a very good tennis player for my level. Okay. For my tennis has levels. It's kind of like you go to the doctor, I step on the scale and he says, your weight's perfect if you were 4 or 5 inches taller. I mean, I'm good at my level, but we do play together well and we have fun most of the time. It's a really nice physical and mental getaway from everything.
That is so great. Eve, I look forward to meeting you too. This is so fun. Okay, when we all have times that, particularly in the last year, times that we're afraid, times that we're down, times that we struggle generating the energy that used to sort of come so naturally just by being active in motion and doing shows. You have any go-tos in your life that you use when you're in that spot? You need to just pick yourself up a little bit?
So my big thing is morning music. I mean, I'll just say Alexa, because I don't want it going on behind me, is like one of we're like living in the Star Trek world. You just ask for it and it shows up. I don't remember artists. I don't remember names of songs, but I can somehow say the right bits and pieces that it finds it. And I'm an 80s pop-ish kind of guy all the way. I listen to a lot of different music. I'll even listen to country on occasion. Okay. But that is give me something from the 80s that just kind of sets my mood. I will say in the house, one entertaining fact I learned is that you can hear the music in the rest of the house if you're playing it in the bathroom. And one of my favorite songs to play in the morning is Happy by Pharrell. It's just such a nice, upbeat song. Nothing deep about it, but it just kind of gets you going. So I think music's a big thing.
I think that is awesome. And that is a great pick-me-up song. We listen to it in the car with kids all the time. You're going to have to, so I am not a very cultured human being. So like, give me some 80s rock. Is that like Bon Jovi? Like, is that 80s rock?
That's 80s rock. I said 80s pop. I thought
pop. Okay.
So, I mean, like Huey Lewis and the News, fun 80s. XTC is fun 80s music. You know, what they play on the radio is what gets stuck in my head. I mean, that's really it. I'm just, yeah, there we go. You know, we're rock on. That's right. But I enjoy a lot of music. I know that it's a really fun way to get yourself moving in the morning. And I say that because my routine is really literally roll out of bed when I get up. It could be, I'll say as early as 5. It could be as late as 7, on average about 6. And I roll out and I go upstairs to the office. I used to go downstairs to the office. Okay. But I just start right in before the emails and everything else comes. Durant, thank you, Eve. See, I can't remember these things. I need my family to help. And
you're Durant, in good company. It's all good.
One of my favorites. But then usually I'll work for the first couple hours. So then it's time to, you know, maybe shower up for the day. And that's when the music really comes into play to just kind of then reset it. And I'm very fortunate that many mornings I'll get a note from Eve saying, hey, you want us some breakfast? And we'll do that. We'll talk about the day. And then, you know, we get moving.
Man, that sounds like a really great and wise start to the morning, frankly.
It works. I mean, it's once you get certain habits going and it works for you, it's okay. There are mornings I'm like, why am I up? I should go back to bed. I'm like, but I'm awake. Let's go. Let's get moving. So Journey's a little more rockish, you know?
Okay.
But the Duran Duran to me falls more into the pop. So
this is awesome. The demarcation line between rock and pop. This is really, really fun. I had no idea. Okay. Was there a person in your store? Are there people in your store? We all have, I'm a big believer in heritage strength. And that we learn that what we're capable of oftentimes from others. When people... Kathy Langlois talked about this, you know, the people that spoke into her and said, hey, you're really good at this, even when she didn't know. Were there some people in your life, your greatest encouragers, that said, Kevin, you've got a gift. You are great in these things, and really showed you that you had what it takes?
So apologies if I don't mention someone who, I mean, I'm fortunate. Again, we're fortunate that we've had a lot of really good support. So I'm going to give you a few highlights. I'm going to do my best here. In the very early days of KCL, again, you got to be some more old timers to know some of the names, but George Zawacki worked at a dealership called Bicyc Equipment in Illinois. And he was pretty well known. They were doing chain work way back then. And I think he saw a vision in what we did and helped kind of just let us know what we could do, and kind of showed me, hey, wow, this is where you could go in this industry, and pretty successful, well-traveled. And so that was one of the early days from the business side. And as I've been thinking about doing this again, I've used the word introspective. Eve will correct me. That might not be the right word, and that's okay. That there are also a couple people from way back when. One's still pretty active, but Kevin Torme, who's on the East Coast, you may know him, may not. Worked for different manufacturers and reps, and Jeff Elliott, who's on the West Coast. You worked for Jade Range way back in the day. And those are guys that I met through work, would see them at different shows, and we had fun, you know. And as someone who was kind of in his 20s working with his dad, where do we go from there? Dad doesn't socialize the same way. That kind of led me to more people of, okay, this is a fun industry. We're going to work hard, but we get to enjoy it. And so, you know, now you're back in my 20s. I mean, so that goes back a few decades. I will say, I said this before, and, you know, yeah, you can buy me a drink next time I see you. But Allison at MOFSI has been just a super strong believer in our company, our family, and me, that there's a level of trust. There's things that we've done together that, for work-wise, whether they're public projects or not, MOFSI's just been a great group. And from that, again, you probably know who Joe Ferry is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just really been a big supporter for us. And again, helps us see what we can do. And these are people that mean a lot to me. And as I talk about the MOFSI group, we've been fortunate in the last, maybe it's decade, that Jeff Couch, just really kind of, it's not that he said, hey, Kevin, you're doing this directly. It's just being able to be around these people and see what can be done and how it works. And as you know, when I see he's online, hey, Chris, Chris Jeans, how do you get to a nicer person who you meet a couple of times, you're like, holy cow, this man is amazing. Yeah. So some of the MOFSI people are really cool. We also have a really good relationship with NAFM and FCSI. Deirdre, Charlie, the rest of their team, Wade at FCSI, all these people have really just helped kind of let us know, hey, you're okay. We're the smallest company in this industry. That is really nice that now you did that again, Allison. Whenever you say Kevin, you go to Kevin Eaton and Julie, I think it is. And so Eve, she means you, but she'll fix that on her next post. It's really been amazing because when you look at it, we were a 2-3 person company. We've since a family only. We expanded last year to add an Italian rep, Luca Salamani, who's kind of like a Kevin of Europe and what he's built and what he's done over time. Our development team has grown. We've outsourced now digital marketing. So we now have a lot more people that are part of our group, and that just helps make us stronger. But the people that have known us from it it's Ron and Kevin and, Judy and then Eve. And it's just really, see, there we go. That you're just funny, Allison. Anyhow,
we love you, Allison.
I do. We love you. But I also, I'm going to mention one other person that this is kind of a weird one because he's outside the industry and he'll never see this. It's okay. But person's name is Greg Sugar. And he and his wife built a tie company in Chicago. And built it, sold it, moved. And I play tennis with him, knowing him. I'm like, wow, building a business to 40 some people, selling it off. That's amazing. It's not what I want to do. I love what we do. Stay small, take care of people, and we're good. But he showed me his social media presence, and his attitude is, look, I'm going to take care of things, but I don't have to put on any airs. I don't have to do it differently. And that just, again, reinforcing, hey, if you know KCL, you know what Kevin does, we're going to go have some fun. And that's really it, is we try to be ourselves. I can go on a long time, but again, I'm going to reference my mom. My mom, we're down in Florida. We moved, and she's staying with us through the winter. Okay. And I said, now remember, what was one of the things I wanted to do 30 some years ago? Well, there were other details I'm not going to share, but she said, well, you just wanted to be able to go out and buy drinks for friends. I was making some money. I'm 21, 22. That's all. That's what I want to do now. I love when we go out. And if I have the occasion to say, hey, I can pick up the tab, I'm a happy guy. It's pretty simple. The bar is low. So
that's awesome. What a great, simplicity. There's beauty and there's directness and intentionality and simplicity. And I love the way you look at the world. By the way, Eve, your dictionary said you were correct. Dictionary, you were on point with introspection, I think it was. This year we've all been slow. But slow. We've all been at home. We're not moving to the degree that we do. What were some ways in which you and Eve took advantage of that, both personally in your life to do anything new while it's slow, or in the business? How did you find opportunity there?
Our biggest thing is actually being able to take a breath from the travel. There are people in this industry that travel way more than we do, but getting out a couple times a month for meetings and conferences, it takes a lot. We got through that, but being able to take that time and really work with Luca, hopefully you're going to see this year some big growth internationally. We're working on changing the application to be a lot more international friendly. We've had users in dozens of countries for years, but those are more, I don't want to say casual. There are people that speak English, use North American equipment. We have more manufacturers coming. We have more designs coming. We've been able to, between Eve, Kim, Luca, and myself, we've had weekly meetings that would be very hard to really do if you're traveling all the time. And I just feel like we're in this transition that, knock on wood for us, there's a lot of hardships with COVID, but we've been able to make use of it that, you know, if I've had 500 Zoom meetings in the last year, maybe that's a low number, but it's okay because we can't meet in person. And we can take that hour every week and do a lot rather than try to sit for a 2-day meeting that, you know, takes a lot more out of us. So I think providing more training for people, we do a tech tip Tuesday. I should be able to say that. They're 15, 20 minute every Tuesday. We do a thing that we could have 5 people on. We could have 50 people on. Just tell you what's new. So taking advantage of people being a little more trapped, and I say that in the nice way possible. You can't travel, so you want to make sure you're maximizing KCL. Hey, we can help you with that. And that's really, again, it goes back to if we can make everyone that uses KCL happy, then they stay with us. I mean, we have clients that have been with us 25 years. You know, we're doing something hopefully right by them and for them and cost effectively.
I think you are. You moved south. Did that happen this year?
Last summer, actually. So again, Eve is a very good planner, and she knows that I'm slow to change. So for probably the last 8 years, she'd said, we're leaving Illinois when our youngest graduates high school. No, we're not. No, we're not. Yeah, maybe. Okay, well, let's look at it. And then we start talking about it, and then it happened. And our timing actually was fortunate. The move was a little bit rough with COVID. But again, apologies to everyone else in the country. The weather here has been really nice. And I see the pictures back home, and I think our timing was good this year to get out.
I'll bet. Yeah, I have a feeling Deirdre, and I don't know if Charlie's up there too, but that crew, everybody in Chicago is just doing a lot of digging. Lots of bicep and back work right now. Getting out of it.
Yep, you're right. So, no, it's been a great thing. I will say, again, the word fortunate, that we planned for the move. We planned to be able to go back and forth Chicago a little more often for family and other things. That one fell through, but we are really good at trying to look at the short and long-term plans so we don't just, go and go, now what are we going to do? And weather is life-changing. I've had some other people tell me that years ago, and you just don't realize that if you're not a cold weather person, you were skiing last weekend. That you can't do that down here easily, but we can be outside almost all the time. And with COVID, I mean, one of the positives, people read about Florida and you're always like, oh, Florida man and all that. You can be outside. So they can be a little different, that you can still enjoy yourself. We do get to go out to eat, and that helps not feel so trapped in the house, right?
Sure.
During COVID. And again, I do hope people realize that, at this time, as silly as Zoom, and you get tired of those meetings, it's a way to see friends. We do Zoom with friends from back home, back in Illinois, because they can't come down here, which we thought we were going to have lots of visitors. We're not going up there, but it's nice to connect. On that other note, even just picking up the phone. I mean, if you're used to going in the office and now you're working out of the house, 5 days a week, and you've got by yourself, you've got your spouse, your kids, call those friends that you don't really talk to. Everyone is happy to hear from someone. I got one of those a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I should have called him, but it's so cool. We could talk on the phone for 15 minutes, a half hour, catch up, makes you feel a little more connected. So, we all have people that we know and we don't see, is pick up the phone.
Heck yeah, another way to serve and just reach out to people. That was Mary. It's rough up there. My colleague with Calmo, Mary Margaret Dunn. Mary, we're feeling for you. This is Deirdre. There is nowhere for the snow to go now. Smart move to the sunshine and warmth. Our buddy Rob Connolly is on. Rob, what is up, brother?
Rob, Henry Penny. Can't wait to get that drink. Thank you. That's a NAFM webinar one where they there was an accidental label instead of Henny Penny. It said Henry Penny, and he made a nice offer. So I'm hoping NAFEM's on because I'm taking him up on that one.
Done. I have a feeling. Oh, here you go. Boom. You're in.
Thanks, Rob.
Done. This is our buddy Taz. South doesn't work. The snow is. He's in Arkansas. It's down there. I know, Taz. I've been seeing you been scraping your windshield and all that kind of stuff. Rob's buying. We're in.
There you go.
That's so good.
Taz, here's a good example. You're in Arkansas. I know you guys have, snow removal equipment, but it's all solar powered, right? You wait for the sun to come out and it melts. It's not coming out. So, I mean, it's a mess down there, right? Denver, that's what you expect. Chicago, you expect it. Just getting a little more than we need. But like everything else, it's going to pass. And I'm going to borrow Rob's phrase of, we're closer to the end of winter than we are at the beginning. So, and I really like that, Rob, and NAFEM, your weekly, the webinars. We're there all the time, and it's great information. It's also just good to hear perspectives.
I would say that phrase from Rob is the one that rings in my head. Whenever I get down, I hear Rob saying, we're closer to the end of this than the beginning. This is Deirdre. Henry Penny is a really nice guy from what we hear.
Yep. Yep. They're generous too.
That is so good. Oh gosh, I love this. Okay. For 30, when we talked, you said you're someone, obviously you work on your business, you own it, you're strategizing in Italy and overseas and all these places right now, but you've also been, you said, very much the face of KCL and the guy that answers the phone on Saturdays and that helps with the tech problems along the way. And you said just recently you've started to let go of some of that and let some other people help you with that, correct?
Trying.
So there you go. That might be our answer. How's that process going for you? Letting go a little bit and letting other people be that first point of contact.
It's actually going far better than I expected. I try to set my bar low because it's easier to achieve. But we've had developers doing work that I was doing that takes a lot of pressure off me, which is great. Between Eve, Kim, Luca, our digital marketing people, I love now that I'm carbon copied on things, but unless they need me, I just get to read the email and go, looks good until they need me instead of me being involved. And tech support, we're still working on that one, but I don't mind because I can solve most of the problems in just a few minutes. It's a quick email, a quick phone call. We have done remote support since the days of dial-up modems. Wow. Like, we'd say, unplug your fax machine, plug your computer into that line, and now open up this program so I can get on your computer. And I mean, that saved a lot of time. It was kind of silly in retrospect, but that's the way to do it. So tech support, I'm going to say we're fortunate that we have a pretty solid program, but we also get a lot of calls that aren't always KCL. And I'm happy to try to help it. It's AutoCAD, it's Revit. My PDF viewer isn't working. Is it KCL? No, almost always no. But here's what we can do to change it. So we'll help you even if it's not KCL related. And considering we've got several thousand users, I still get amazed that I have this much hair left. So we'll take that.
First, Taz is saying exactly. This is about the snow in Arkansas. You are correct about that one.
It's solar powered removal all down south. I mean, it's free. Just wait a day or two and it's gone.
Yeah, you're on it. Well played. Now, here's my second question, knowing that maybe people come to you with non-KCL. So the other day, I couldn't remember the code. I have a code to turn on and off screen time on my kids' stuff, and I couldn't remember. You got any advice?
Let them enjoy the screen time. They won't be bothering you. So take that time for yourself, Jason.
There's a silver lining always to be found, isn't there, Kevin?
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I have my trite ones. I'm going to say this. I'm a big fan of a lot of things, but I'm not like Taz, I think, is a movie savant. I've seen things he posts online. I'm not a savant like that, but I am a big Monty Python fan and always look on the bright side of life. Anyhow, so I'm also not musical, but that's okay.
I think I use the phrase "it's only a flesh wound" at least once a month, just for what it's worth.
Oh yes, that's also a funny one.
Or she turned me into a newt. I got better.
So what you're doing there, laughter. the best medicine. I mean, it is. If you can laugh, again, I'm old school. That The Simpsons, still one of my favorites. Almost everyone I've known has said, yeah, it still makes me laugh. Yep. I mean, and it's just fun to laugh. And yes, I'm serious. We have our business. We take care of our customers, but I have a sarcastic sense of humor, but I like to have fun. And I think that's a big thing, that we have a lot of people in this industry that like to have fun. They're quick-witted. They like company. I mean, we miss these meetings, being able to go, and it's not just sitting in the meeting and being educated. It's, hey, let's have a bite to eat. Even if we're in the room at the banquet table, you know, let's either, I'm going to go, who do I want to sit next to, and have them go, here comes KCL again. Or, you know, we'll sit at a table, Eve and I, and all of a sudden we look up and it's like, hey, there's 6 people there. We just all want to talk and have fun. It doesn't have to be business. It could be the simple weather. It could be about the kids, the people that you've known for years. We miss that. And as much as we try to catch up on Zoom with people, it will be really nice to get him back to, whether it's the sales and marketing meeting, whether it's a buying group, just to be able to see people, and whether you get to reach out and shake hands or give a hug, you know, it's something I miss. And speaking of missed, I missed another person I want to call out. I don't know, 6 to 8 years ago, I don't know if anyone knows Terry. I want to say Holy. I think it was Structural at the time. She's been with a couple of companies. She told me, I think I was probably, had to be 6, 7 years ago, mid-40s, late 40s, and said, Kevin, why aren't you volunteering more? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, why aren't you on committees or groups? I go, I didn't know we could. We're not NAFM. We're not FCSI. And you know, I thank her for doing that, because then I was able to get involved in some NAFM committees and some FCSI committees. And, you know, it's no different than in schools when we volunteer and give back. We have some knowledge. Ours is a little bit more horizontal because we work with all the channels, but we're an allied partner, associate partner. So I really appreciate Terry getting me on that. I am disappointed that I missed all the young executive groups, because I started, you know, past 40 doing that with them, but it's fun. And it's good to give back your time, whether it's a conference planning or FCSI, their education foundation. You know, we want to do a lot more this year. They want to raise up the visibility consultants. Again, I'm going to name drop, kind of like Rich is trying to do with the service companies. He's doing that with his group, but the educational foundation has been around for FCSI. They want to do a little more. And I'm happy that my timing's good, where maybe I can add some information and assistance to that.
I bet you can. And I would say, this is Rich, by the way. Rich, yo, brother.
Hi, Rich.
This is our good friend, Chris Jeans, who, you're right, one of the nicest humans on the planet. When I joined the MOFSI board, Chris was one of those people that just was always overwhelmingly kind, asked me how I was doing, made me feel, you know, when you first start on any board with a bunch of people, you feel so small. You're like, man, there's these icons and legends in the industry in this room. And Chris just always made me feel so welcome. He will always save a seat for the Coachmans. Oh, I love that. I know you would.
He's super nice. I mean, you know, Minnesota nice. I don't know, you know, Canadian nice. I don't know what it is. A lot of those MOFSI reps from Canada, super people. And again, they've really been good friends to us as well. But then there's the fun side as well. Then they all have that. And it's good that you don't have to hide it. You don't have to go out and always be buttoned up. There's a time to be proper, and there's a time to let loose a little bit.
There's a lot of people in this community that know how to do karaoke, just crush karaoke. Rich, Chris, I've seen Chris rock some karaoke. Allison, frankly, pretty much everyone on the MOFSI board, although I didn't do it. It's not my gift on this planet, for sure.
If you wait for the right time, Jason, you're going to sound terrific to everyone, and no one's really going to remember other than, Jason, he was awesome, even though you might have been completely off tune and pitch. It's okay. It's waiting for that right time when they don't quite have it all together. You're good.
I'm going to hope you're my wingman in one of those situations. You can tell me, hey, now's the time for you to make your move.
Then I'll join you in Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees.
Oh, I'm in. Yeah. Wade Kohler is on. Wade, what's this question? When's the FCSI tennis tournament coming?
Okay. You know what? At the next meeting, I will present that idea as my own. So thank you.
Love it. The beautiful sharing of ideas. Chris, I would argue with you there, buddy. We're both caring for people together. We love it. It's awesome. In a British accent. Oh, man. I don't know if I have a good British accent, but we should try it. Kevin, why don't you give it a shot?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I can't even try with strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government.
Yes. You crushed it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
Bye,
good.
everyone. Thank you and good night.
This is awesome. Good night, everybody. Great idea. The tennis tournament is on. Who else? Wade's here. Chris, Larry Wange. What's up, Pop? Good to see you. Okay. What are you? We have 12 minutes. It's funny how we like.
I told you this was part one, Jason, that I talk too much. It's okay.
It's not about you talking too much. It's great. The feedback, the energy is so awesome. Tell me what you're proud of. And there's probably a lot of things. You can give me a couple of things.
We're going to start with, I'm really proud that at this point, we're very close to having 3 children be college graduates. Yeah. As someone who did not, we've got one done, one a couple months away, and another one finishing her sophomore year. And everyone is looking on track, and that's pretty exciting to me. I don't regret what I did, but I'm excited for them to get it. And Eve has 2 degrees. She's got an undergrad, a master's. She's got some high level certificates as well. So education's important. I'm going to say I'm living proof that sometimes you get lucky. You don't have to finish school, but we did a lot of hard work. So I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of how we receive emails from users, and they're very heartfelt emails of, I couldn't do this without you or KCL. And the fact that we've helped people be more efficient at their jobs. It's just a good feeling. We didn't sell them something that they didn't want. We didn't charge them so much that they could barely break it. They're just happy that our service helps and we help them. So I'm really proud of that. And that, we've gotten our family to this point in life, and it's pretty cool.
That's a lot to be proud of, Kevin. I love it.
Don't make me too emotional, Jason.
We're just getting warmed up, my friend. Tell me, we all go through stuff. By the way, who's this? Taz. Taz is giving you a pat on the back. Heck yes. If only all of us could say that at the end of our careers, right? Or not the end of our careers, but when we've been established and we've had a legacy of building relationships and serving. Fantastic business model. Jim Lund. Jim, glad you're with us, man.
Hi, Jim.
Right. Always gets the props too.
Yes.
There you go. Heck yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a great partnership. I mean, and he hasn't been involved in quite some time, but we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't start together.
Love it.
I respect it, remember it, and honor that.
Well, you're carrying on the legacy, a legacy built on excellence, commitment, and value. We all go through stuff, and that stuff oftentimes teaches us what we're made of. We learn things about ourselves. What's a challenge that you overcame where you realize, you know what, maybe I'm stronger than I realized, or I grew in this way? Anything in particular you can think of?
I'm going to say the very early days of KCL, that basically coming back from a long vacation / short college experience. I was very book smart in high school. I wrote a computer program, accounts payable program for a small business when I was in high school. Wow. I cut lawns and, did things in high school. I mean, I made money. I worked for it. And then I was able to use my brains to make money, went out to college with this expectation. And I think I disappointed myself. I think I surprised a lot of people. It's like, wait, Kevin, left college. And then my dad, my parents wanted me to open this business. And it's like, I don't really want to work with you guys or do this. And going out there with that 18-year-old, I mean, I look probably at 18, probably still look like I was 15. And, didn't want to conform because, hey, I'm going to find my own way. it was one of those, I wasn't sure that I was going to be fit for this industry, for running a business. And it was really tough because, again, we started at zero. I mean, with something new that a lot of people didn't even know what it was. And I'm going to say this, I still will have doubts, even though we've done well, we've done right by people. I want to be my best for everyone else. And so I think once, probably about 5 years into working, all of a sudden I realized, okay, you know what? I need to kind of just do what is expected right now, and let's see where I can go from that. But I was never going back to college. There, in my mind, I tried right after, and there was no doubt. And I thought, well, can I do this without having a college degree? Can my dad and I do this without being business people? And you know, we managed. We learned as we went. We had each other to revolve around that. And then, you know, when I met Eve in, I'm going to say 90, somewhere 89, 90, you know, she was a school social worker and 2 degrees, and kind of helped really, you know, I don't want to say push, it move me in the right direction of, hey, you know, you can do what you're doing, or you can try to do this better. And I think that really helped a lot, that motivation. So, yeah.
You know, I think that's key for anyone to build confidence, is that, you know, what do they call it? Self-efficacy. This sense that, you know what, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to do this coming into this new thing without a college degree, but you know what, I can learn it and I can figure it out and I can keep plugging away. And there's not much that can hold people back when they have that attitude of, I can learn anything and I can figure it out.
Yeah. And I admire people who want to be the biggest. You know, I want us to be very good, pretty good. If we're the best at something, that's great, but it's really, perfection is hard to achieve. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to maintain. And if you can just do good and do right by people, you're going to keep moving. You know, we don't make tons of money, but we make a little bit of money every year. And you do that for 35 years, it starts to add up and you're like, hey, this is going to work. It's just hard at year 2 or 3 going, can we do this for 30 years? I mean, you know, so it's been very interesting to see us grow past that. You know, we're just doing this by the seat of our pants and try to have longer term plans, which we do now. And I'm just really proud of the support from my parents, you know, Eve and Kim, to get us to where we are. And again, we really appreciate our industry, you know, friends and partners.
I think they appreciate you too. In fact, I know they appreciate you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, just, do you know, I have a feeling that you generally, you know what the industry thinks of you and Eve and your mom and dad and what you've built, the service your company gives. Sometimes I get emotional in these moments, just so you know. Let me just read from a couple of your friends, and it's interesting that you mentioned a couple of people who've affected your life pretty profoundly. Joe Ferry says, here's what I think of Kevin. Kevin, while possessing a towering intellect, is one of our industry's humblest leaders. He is magnanimous and a steadfast friend. Not much more could be said of a person than a steadfast friend. And for the record, I had to look up the word magnanimous, and I still can't pronounce it correctly.
You're doing great.
Thanks. Eric Norman, as a design consultant, the software and service that Kevin provides is an integral part of our design process. When I first started in the industry, I did not know the faces behind KCL. Through the years, I had the pleasure of meeting Kevin and his father and working with him on various FCSI boards and committees. We went from being industry colleagues to friends, and I always enjoy spending time with Kevin and his lovely wife, Eve. Oh, love it.
He's very sweet. We like Eric and Carrie as well.
Wade Kohler. What I love about Kevin is his great knowledge of the industry, his amazing ability to see the big picture, and the humbleness to get dirty in the trenches when needed. I've had the pleasure of working with Kevin on a few FCSI committees. He always comes prepared and willing to participate, even when it means putting him on a lie detector and asking him embarrassing questions. I'm guessing there's a story there.
It was
I've
fun, Wade. Love it. Can't wait to join the next conference planning group.
I've sort of traveled the world with Kevin and his amazing wife Eve, and I'm lucky to have him involved with FCSI, but more importantly, to have him as a friend. That theme keeps coming up with you, Kevin. Allison. Kevin who?
That is a classic line. I love it. I love it.
Just kidding. Kevin is one of the most visionary people I've met in the industry. His vast intelligence, both traditional and social, is astounding. I admire so much for all he's accomplished, and I'm so lucky to call him my friend. Every single one of these mentions you, steadfast friend. You, you get to add a value, and you and your family and your company add incredible value to people. That's obvious. But you go the extra mile, and people care about you because you've cared about them. You've become friends with all these people. And, we've all built friends in the industry, but it's a really big theme of yours, Kevin. And I don't know.
I'm honored.
Kudos to you, man.
And then when we're done, I'm going to go tear up. I mean, I'm already doing that, but when the camera's done, then I can let it loose. So I think what's amazing to me is, we talked beforehand. I did not know who you were going to talk to. And Eric has been great. And I love Eric and Carrie, and it's cool to have that relationship with them. But it's just, to me, amazing that the people I mentioned were people that you happen to reach out to. Complete coincidence, not planned. And that means a lot that I thought of them in the way that they thought of me and us. So that's very cool.
Well, listen, from, I guess I would call it a grateful industry.
Yeah.
This has been a highlight. We didn't get to every question. We'll find a way to do it again somehow. But connecting with you, your participation in the Food Service Power Plant Network, you're always lifting people up, throwing fun stuff in, engaging. It's been really fun to connect with you. And you have an industry of people all saying thanks. So thanks for the role you've played and the friendships that you've given a lot of people.
That means a lot. I do have one parting quote, though. Okay, if we're at the end, is now the time?
Go, do it.
Okay. I have to pull this out, so I said it right. Okay, it's from, we should all know these two philosophers, okay? Bill S. Preston, Esquire, and Theodore Logan. Be excellent to each other. Bill and Ted.
Oh, Bill and Ted, be excellent. Is that
their
word?
Simple. It's pretty simple. Be excellent to each other.
Oh, I think that's a great way to say it.
So, yep.
Well, you've done it for a lot of people. Very grateful. Who is this? That's Taz. Taz, you the man, our brother, Chris Jean. Such an inspiring conversation. Thanks for a great hour, Chris. We love you, man. Thanks for joining us. Allison, Cody. Oh.
Thank you, everyone, for participating tonight. I appreciate it. And Jason, this was great. Anytime I can help in any way in the future, please let me know.
You are awesome. This is an absolute joy. Who's this? Be excellent to each other. That's our buddy Taz. Great job. Wade, you the man. Jim, excellent. Guys and girls, it is awesome to have you on tonight. Listen, everybody. Here's our friend Deirdre. We're thankful for you, Dee. Great job today, by the way. Everyone remember, thanks for being a part of the Food Service Power Plant. The amount of outpouring of love and support for our community and what we're doing and supporting one another and positive mindset tools has been absolutely overwhelming from so many of the people who participated in this conversation. I'm epically proud of everyone for choosing to make this be a place where we remain hopeful. We don't ignore the realities of what we're in, but we choose to believe and hope for good things to come. We continue to support one another. We continue to recognize that we all have down times. We all have down times where it's a struggle and it's a grind, and we do things. We intentionally choose things like Kevin, music in the morning, 80s pop.
Yeah, a little more that way. A little rock, but more pop.
Okay, 80s pop. I'm in. To pick ourselves up. And if you're going through a particularly tough time right now, just say this to yourselves. Of course I am. Of course I'm going through a hard time. There's a reason why it's tough. keep moving. You're welcome to reach out to me. Reach out to someone you trust. Connect with them. Reach out to Kevin. Find either one of us in the group. We'd be happy to listen, connect with you. We both have different tools that we've used to pick ourselves up over the time and kind of offer those to you, etc. And remember to check out all of these conversations. I will be posting this one later this week, or on YouTube. Go search Food Service Power Plant Network on YouTube. So many of our friends who have participated tonight, Deirdre and Rob, and it's so many awesome people have been. Allison have been on that in those conversations. So you can go hear their voices and see their faces and hear their heart. I mean, everyone in this community who've done these, all industry leaders, incredibly talented people with big hearts. Yeah, and Kevin's now on the list, of course. Rob, by the way, it was an excellent adventure. Well played, Rob. Fist bump. Eve, I'm so glad you were here. So this is just, I can't wait to meet you. This is so fun. Todd, thank you both. So awesome. Todd, lots of love. Talk about another positive power plant, a food service power plant in our community, lifting people up all the time. Everyone, keep rocking. Kevin, thank you, my friend.
Welcome. This was a blast.
Love it. We'll keep connecting. Everyone, we hope to see you soon. Keep rocking. Have a great night.